Om Sai Ram children, this is Paati. I have a story for you. And the name of the story is The Frog, the Goldfish and the Butterfly. Once a long, long time ago, there lived a lady called Mrs. Tulip who loved gardening. Whenever she could find a space, she would plant a tree, a bush, or a flower. Several tall trees grew in her garden where pigeons, blackbirds, and all the other birds built their nests and took care of the babies. Nearby, there were lavender and rosemary bushes too, and they were covered with so much of perfumed flowers. The bees buzzed around here and there every day to collect nectar for their honey, and they shared the nectar with all the colorful, fluttering butterflies. A red rose grew over the garden shed, and many small flowers made her garden so beautiful, and everyone was so happy. But one day, things began to change. Mrs. Tulip had just bought a large brown bulb, which was not pretty to look at, but it had a wonderful secret locked away inside itself. Mrs. Tulip picked up the big brown bulb and took a garden trowel and walked down to her fish pond. Mrs. Tulip's fish pond was at the bottom of a garden, and it was the home for a shiny goldfish and a spotty green frog. They were the best of friends. The spotty green frog just happened to be sitting on a rock near the water's edge when he saw Mrs. Tulip coming closer and closer. Quickly he dived into the water and swam over to Shiny Goldfish. "Guess what I just saw," he gasped. And he was so out of breath. The Shiny Goldfish replied, "I have no idea what you saw. Tell me what it was that you saw." By now the spotty green frog had calmed down and was breathing normally. "Mrs. Tulip is coming to plant something in our fish pond," he croaked in dismay. "Goodness me!" cried the shiny goldfish as she blew big bubbles in the water. "This pond is our home. Nothing else is welcome here." They both watched Mrs. Tulip gently kneeling down on the grass, and she dug a little hole in the mud at the bottom of the fish pond and carefully planted the large brown bulb. Then she slowly walked away, smiling to herself. The spotty green frog and shiny goldfish were very worried. "Did you see how ugly that big brown bulb looked?" croaked the frog loudly to the goldfish, and he jumped onto his rock. "I certainly did, and I cannot be friendly to such an ugly creature," replied the goldfish, while she swam around in circles, swishing her long tail behind her. Way down below, underneath the mud, the brown bulb could hear them talking, but she was not at all upset. "One day they will both understand. It's just a matter of time," she said softly to herself. As time passed, strong roots sprouted from the bulb and grew far down into the mud to anchor it firmly. Next, a stalk grew upwards to the top of the water, then way up high into the fresh air towards the sunshine, and soon lovely big round lily pad leaves could be seen. Meanwhile, Spotty Green Frog and Shiny Goldfish watched in amazement at the changes happening to the ugly brown bulb, and they both agreed that the stalk and the leaves were a beautiful shade of green. Then, one day, a tiny bud appeared at the top of the stalk. It burst open and blossomed into the most glorious pink lotus flower. "The brown bulb was not really ugly at all," croaked the frog, as he rested under a big round leaf. "We are sorry that we were rude," said the goldfish. "You are most welcome here. You are really beautiful and pink, and you're a lotus flower, and your leaves give us a shady place to rest." The lotus flower smiled and said, "I always grow strong and straight towards the sun." As a butterfly settled on her petals to drink the sweet lotus nectar in delight, and the garden was once again a happy place. So we learned how the plant grew from a bulb into a beautiful lotus flower. And the lesson for us here is that we must have good manners and we must be polite to everyone that is different from us. And we know that other people can do many good things, and also we want to see the good in everyone. We must be also respectful to others. So that is the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.